Lawmakers in Banjul have granted the African Import and Export Bank in diplomatic status to propel the concept of African unity. Tunisian doctors began indefinite strike demanding for better working conditions amid the impact of COVID-19. Gambia's Teachers Credit Union has launched the first housing project for its members across the country. This and more coming on The World Today. Hello, this is Africa TV. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin. I am Amadou Kante. Many thanks for joining us. And now the news in detail. Now, the National Assembly in the Gambia has granted approval of the government's request to accord the Africa Import and Export Bank with diplomatic status to facilitate its Pan-African functions in the country. The Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs on Monday observed that the continent has been dragging feet for inter-African trade for over 5 decades after independence. Concerned about the situation, the lawmakers unanimously agreed on recognize the continent's bank with a view to fast-track their development agenda. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The National Assembly in Banjul has adopted the report to confer diplomatic status to the African Export-Import Bank in the Gambia. The Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs presented the report on condition that Africa has not improved in the conduct of foreign trade for over 5 decades of independence. Chairperson of the Standing Committee, Sidia Jata, pointed out that the status quo is aggravated because the continent was yet to succeed in transformation of being importer of finished products rather than adding values to its raw materials.
Those two aspects of trade between the continent and the rest of the world is what has fettered its development and account for the impoverishment of its people. Since the continent only exports untransformed products, whose prices are determined by those who buy them, it loses. And when it imports the same value-added products, prices are determined by those who transform them, and the continent pays highly for them after having sold them cheaply.
The African Import-Export Bank was established in Nigeria in October 1993 by African governments, the private sector and partners for the purpose of financing, promoting, and expanding intra-African and extra-African trade. With its headquarters in Egypt, the African Import-Export Bank commenced operations in September 1994, following the signature of a headquarters agreement with the host government in August the same year. The move by the National Assembly in Banjul is expected to create a protective environment to guard the institution against encroachment in certain critical governance situations, to allow the bank to effectively and efficiently perform its Pan-African duties. The request for conferment of diplomatic immunities and privileges on the bank was tabled by the Minister of Foreign Affairs in September 2019, during which it was forwarded to the committee stage for closer scrutiny. Reacting to the adoption on Monday, Minister of Foreign Affairs Modu Tangara recalled that the journey began in 2002 with a view to attain economic independence.
This started since 2002. And you must understand that it's not the bank that is forcing to come to the Gambia, but this is a process where countries lobby to get the bank hosted in their country. And I must commend and congratulate those who succeeded in getting and convincing the heads of states or the ministers involved to bring the bank here to the Gambia. And as the chair mentioned it, independence, one of my friends, a renowned scholar, founder of Africana Studies, was saying that independence cannot be complete without us controlling the economy. Political independence would not give us total independence. And one of the leaders of the Western world, when confronted with the issue of independence, said to his people, let's give them independence, but let's find a subtle way of coming back and controlling them. And they've succeeded in doing that. In most of the African countries, endowed with resources, what is remaining in the country in most of the cases is not even 15%. And I attended a meeting where during closed-door meeting, the head of state appealed to his colleagues to help him see how best they can get out of the vicious circle that they are in. Because with all their resources, he was saying that only 2% is remaining in the country. And I think the essence of having such a bank and the African continental free trade area is in line with the thinking of people like Kwame Nkrumah.
The charter leading to the creation of the African Bank has been signed by 50 countries as an international multilateral organization that offers good credit rating at the disposal of African financial institutions. The bank has approved more than $60 billion credit facilities for businesses in Africa since its inception, despite the global financial crisis of 1997 and 1998. This is Aminata Job reporting for iAfrica News.
And from the report there, next we head to the U.S. because the U.S. President Donald Trump has praised his own performances throughout the coronavirus crisis and took time at China during his mega rally speech over the weekend. The U.S. leader used the occasion to publicly attack many of his rivals as well as to praise his own performances despite the U.S. being the worst hit country worldwide by the crisis with over 2.3 million cases and almost 122,000 deaths related to the virus. President Trump also revealed that he had asked members of his organization to slow down testing in order that the number of total cases would look more favorable. His first campaign rally since the coronavirus outbreak was held in front of a much smaller crowd than the president was expecting.
But you don't hear them talking about COVID. COVID. To be specific, COVID-19. That name gets further and further away from China as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus. And despite the fact that I have done a phenomenal job with it. I shut down the United States to very heavily infected, but all people from China in late January, which is months earlier than other people would have done it if they would have done it at all. I saved hundreds of thousands of lives. We don't ever get even a mention. Then I closed it down to Europe early. Closed it down because I saw what was happening. And by the way, most people said, don't do it. Don't do it. We saved hundreds of thousands of lives. And all we do is get hit on like we're terrible. And what we've done with the ventilators and with the medical equipment and with testing, testing is a double-edged sword. We've tested now 25 million people. It's probably 20 million people more than anybody else. Germany's done a lot. South Korea's done a lot. They call me, they say, the job you're doing, here's the bad part. When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please. They test and they test. We got tests if people don't know what's going on. We got tests. We got another one over here. The young man's 10 years old. He's got the sniffles. He'll recover in about 15 minutes. That's a case. Add up to it. That's a case.
He'll hear from heaven.
UN President Donald Trump speaking there during, of course, a weekend's rally in the United States. Now, from that, we come back home because the credit union or the credit cooperative of the Gambia Teachers Unions has launched the establishment of its real estate service in the name of teachers. Management of the consumer service on Saturday laid the allocation of plots of lands for members of the education sector in the teacher village somewhere in Kachume within the West Coast region. More than 400 members of the Teachers Credit Union are now expected to share a neighborhood on the village. Here's more details of that.
The Gambia Teachers Union Credit Cooperative Union is keeping feet on pedals to maintain steady growth by increased commitment to its development agenda, brought about by resolution of the annual delegates meetings. Established in 1996, the credit union sought to address access to financial services which were beyond the reach of the teacher. Although banks continue to exist, loans were tied to collateral which the majority of teachers could not afford. 24 years later, a well-established consumer cooperative unit offers services beyond just the tailor-made loans for the teaching fraternity. In addition to provision of mobility and other devices for the daily operation of the teacher, the credit union has begun the provision of shelter with the Kachume estate in the Combo South, already known as the teacher village. Chairman of the Land Allocation Committee, Mamadou Lamin Sambu, led the distribution exercise over the weekend.
And we are calling it teacher village for now. We have 450 plots in this village, and with social amenities like schools, market, graveyards, everything is within. Okay. Now what we are doing today is we brought our members to show them their plots. All the plots have been demarcated, as you can see. We have roads in and out. We have done roads all over the perimeter of the area so that we will be able to take around all those who are here. They come with their boards, they write their names on their board and then place it on their number, so that they know that this is the number they were allocated, and then they can start work.
Teachers like Momodu Dabluba of Latrikunda Sabiji Upper Basic School are very much appreciative of this project.
The gesture here is a very laudable one because it has to do with giving homes to teachers. And I think it's very important because we all know when it comes to salaries, for a teacher to afford buying a land and then build it up will take a long time. So if an initiative like this has come up from the GTU, CCU, it's very, very, very laudable and accepted. And I believe all of us welcome the idea and the gesture.
Aisatu Dabo of Sanchaba Sule Job sounded similar opinion that the payment of a large chunk of money on the spot is not the way of a young teacher like herself.
This is the best surprise ever I can say. Yeah. Because having a land is a good thing to me, because you cannot, with teachers, I don't think we cannot just pull out a large amount of money to buy a plot of land. But with this initiative with GTU, CCU, I'm thankful really.
The drill towards housing for members of the education sector and their families, in the view of Abdul Karim C., chairman of the board of directors of the GTU, CCU, is not a profit-making venture.
The credit union is out to give affordable products to its members. If you know the cost of land in the combos, it's very expensive. If this land was to be given by the estates that are existing, no member will have to buy this land less than $200,000. But because it's a credit union and the credit union is a member base, we are out to help the members, and that is why we are giving out the plots 50,000 to the members, payable in a period of 3 years. So we are not looking for profit in it. All that we are focused on is to make sure that our members, they have homes, so that when they retire, they will be able to stay in their homes.
For teaching comrades like Imam Usman Drame of Bakote Proper Lower Basic School, the credit union needs to work much harder to support members on the construction aspect, although he is committed to immediately start with even a single bag of cement.
General manager, so we have more effort, help the teachers. ci sampo bi am na ci ñoo xam ne tey lu ñu lekk sax am soo ko joxee empty land tam te sampo loo ko is mean ni yaa ngi ko jox another problem because yaa ngi ko jox two options mu ngi think about the development and the other issues ay na amut hal so loolu daal digg man alhamdulillah gis naa suma plot maa ngi plot 114 so gis naa dem leen ba yóbbu fa it is my personal. I cannot wait for anything. Even tomorrow or day after tomorrow, the man will bag my for small plot.
For those in the field of the chalk and board who are yet to take up this opportunity, Head of Department for the Consumer Unit at the GTU-CCU, Ndeifatu Jallo, did announce plans for allocation of plots of lands in 2 other teacher villages.
So you can see we have different plots right now. We have plots at here at Kachume. We also have plots at Sifo. We also have plots at Gunjur Berending. So right now the one at Kachume, we have about 400 plots, and all those 400 plots have been given to each and every member. So we are about to issue the plots also at Sifo. So our aim is to give each and every member a plot of land.
The estates will come up with some facilities such as school, churches, mosques, and other social amenities will be provided for the teachers. So all the responsibility for teachers is now to build their own houses on their own with a loan of about 50,000 payable within 3 years is what is giving them house to live in this place called Kachume. Reporting for iAfrica TV, Ibrahim Presba.
Many thanks there, Ibrahim Presba, for filing in that report. And of course, from that, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining update stories. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on iAfrica TV, and now to the rest of the stories. Now, Redville Farm Organization over the weekend handed over sanitary materials to different communities in the Combos as measures to cope the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. The initiative came through Redville Waitrose Foundation, aimed at easing the impact of the COVID-19 pressure on its workers and stakeholders. Here's more details of that in this report. Radville Farm Gambia Limited on Saturday presented sanitary materials to different communities as part of its contribution to contain the spread of the coronavirus global pandemic in the Gambia. The donated materials came courtesy of Radville Waitrose Foundation at a tune of over $100,000 geared towards mitigating the impact of COVID-19 on the organization's workers and stakeholders. Speaking during the presentation ceremony in Tubakuta on Saturday, Mahmoud C., Human Resource and Corporate Social Responsibility Manager, reiterated the Foundation's commitment to stand by its staff, saying that all mechanisms will be put in place to protect their members against the pandemic.
But we've also provided 2,000 masks to enable workers to come and go to work with protection so that they don't they don't contract the disease or spread the disease. Because if you use masks, you protect yourself and also safeguard your family.
Sleman Boj, Finance and Operations Manager, said it was part of the foundation's aim to support the communities in the combos.
So if one is affected, if you want to do contact tracing, you have to quarantine the whole of Radville. And if you want to quarantine the whole of Radville, only the people working at Radville is more than 1,500 with their families. I have over 20 people in my house. So if everybody has 20 people, where are you going to quarantine all these people? So this is a big tax on Radville Farm. This is why we must do everything possible to make sure that we avoid any case at Radville Farms.
President of Workers Association on the Radville Farm, John Gomez, commended the foundation for the support and urged his colleagues to make best use of the protective gears both at work and at home. The donated packages included face masks and sanitary materials such as soaps and hand wash basins, which is expected to prevent the spread of the coronavirus among the beneficiaries. Radville Farm Gambia is popular for the provision of jobs to over 1,000 Gambians in different communities across the country. Reporting for Africa News, I am Amadou Kante. And from the report, next we head to Tunisia, where in demand for better working conditions in the wake of the coronavirus global pandemic, Tunisian health workers embarked on a nationwide strike, posing a challenge in the country's fight against the COVID-19. Tunisia has been suffering from a severe economic meltdown for more than a decade due to the 2008 global financial crisis, which was followed by the 2011 Arab Spring Revolution. Here is more details of that.
Felah Harhimi is one of the leaders of the healthcare protest movement. The emergency medical worker says his colleagues are underpaid and overstretched. Felah claims Tunisian medical workers are treated as ordinary civil servants while they are on the front lines of the war against the pandemic.
We are here to demand our rights. Medical workers have made many sacrifices for the health sector during the pandemic. This is our duty as Tunisian soldiers. We claim legal status as employees in a high-risk sector.
Tunisian medics and nurses expressed their anger. They marched for miles and staged a sit-in near the Ministry of Health. Protesters waved slogans reflecting the alarming situation and the high prevalence of discomfort in the healthcare sector.
We are risking our lives without guarantees or incentives. Many of these healthcare workers stayed at hospitals for over 1 month without going home. The state must treat us as heroes and listen to our legitimate demands.
Dr. Mourali, the head of the medical committee at Rabta Hospital in the capital city Tunis, said that anger has been mounting for months. The protest movement started in March due to accumulated debts and supply shortages.
The unrest is the consequence of the extremely serious financial difficulties at public hospitals. We lack the financial resources to pay the medical equipment providers. We are working in disastrous conditions.
Hospitals in Tunisia did not shut their doors as coronavirus cases surged. However, this unprecedented sanitary crisis has revealed the strengths but also the weaknesses of the healthcare system in the North African state. The Ministry of Health has declared that depleting resources are adding pressure to the healthcare system in Tunisia. Public health professionals are now calling for the improvement of their working conditions, especially in this period of health crisis.
Tunisian health workers there demanding for better working conditions amidst the impact of COVID-19. And let's do some sports now, because the 2019 and 2020 Ghana Premier League has resumed after 2 years long break over clubsome scandals. Following the outbreak of the coronavirus global pandemic, football was suspended again, making the break longer than anticipated. At the moment, club managers are divided on whether or not to resume actions on the pitch in consideration of the possible backlash from the COVID-19. Here's more details of that in this report.
After 2 years without competitive football due to a corruption scandal, the 2019-2020 Ghana Premier League was off to a good start. But the excitement was short-lived when it was suspended in March following the outbreak of the coronavirus. There's been mixed reactions among club managers about whether to resume the league, as they have done in places like Germany.
Clubs have expressed their opinions on the matter, and the overwhelming feeling from a lot of clubs, at least that I am aware of, is that perhaps we should curtail the league based on a lot of factors that the clubs have put out there. But the FA also has business implications to weigh, obviously, and that seems to be what they are looking at the moment.
Ghana has already missed the deadline given by the Confederation of African Football to decide whether or not it will resume the league. However, the medical committee of the FA has recommended that football could return if it's played without fans at the stadium and players are tested for the coronavirus before matches.
What is going to be very difficult is the other recommendation that players must be tested on a weekly basis. Now, you have to remember, those tests are not cheap. Now, who is going to bear this cost of the testing of the players? You go elsewhere in England, it's the Premier League that is doing it. Over here, the GFA, the rumors are that the GSA will attempt to shift that cost back to the Premier League clubs. And these are Premier League clubs who already don't have sponsorship.
Football analysts say with Ghana's football at a standstill, many players have already lost interest in the league, and the FA should consider a fresh start next year.
Cancelling the league outright will mean that they will miss out on payments from the TV rights holders, because a chunk of the games wouldn't have been aired by then. And the GFA right now, these clubs desperately are in need of money. But I think that, in my opinion, I think that cancelling the league outrightly and restarting will be the right thing to do.
The decision by the FA on whether or not to cancel the league will have a huge impact on the lineup for the 2020-2021 CAF Champions League and Confederations Cup competitions. The Ghana Football Association says it will take a decision on the future of the Ghana Premier League on June 30th. They say they will need to consult with government and health experts on whether to continue or cancel the league. But some want the GFA to decide sooner.
Football competitions around the world are gradually returning to normalcy. I hope Ghana too may find a way out. But with that, we finally brings this news bulletin to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, you can also log on our website on africa.tv. But once again, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and bye for now.
Assalamu alaikum musidɓe am fulɓe, on calminama neɗɗo fof kala ɗo woni e inde muɗum e yettode muɗum. Ko kibaru gimmorɗo en to TRRC bangal biyetegal TRRC. Eɗen fof eɗen gandi TRRC ko députéɓe men darningal damal ɗi darna tan fi humpitade bonandeji bannoɗi e nder laamu Yaya Jammeh, ɗum woni gila July 1994 aranma ha January 2017. ɗum noon waɗi ha TRRC ɗi ñaago yimɓe ɓe ganduɗama hoorema kala mo ganduɗa ka kippanoɗo walla aɗa heɓno mette yoɓe bakkilo ɓe punta. Haalgol noon e télé wona forcé, e haalgol e télé wona forcé, kono noon kala jiɗɗo haalde e télé kadi TRRC ɗi jogani ɗum e damuɗe e folofolo woni a wawat arkala e télé yimɓe jiiya ko hombo haalta ɗo mo ganduɗa ɗum weɓirani ɗum kadi ɓenne kadi ɓe jogui bangal gongal ɗum woni jomirawo on o haala kono taw haala makko ka waylitte goɗɗo andata ko hombo haalta ɗum. Si wona ɗum taɓɓel ngel woni jomirawo on haala kono yeeso makko ngo funtata e télé he. Si wona ɗum noon kadi e jomirawo on no wawi wakkilo o ara o okkira statement makko kala mo ganduɗa o yiɗa haal o yiɗa funtine he télé o yiɗa ɗemgal makko wayle kono konngol makko no wawi waɗede record ko min mbiyata statement tekas ɗum woni yimɓe bindoɓe ɓe ɓaga konngol e yimɓe ɗi. ɗum noon kala jiɗɗo ɗum minen jogui victim support unit ɓen mbawa ɗon haalande no mbaɗirton nombaji mabɓe noni 7704988 7704988 7704988. So wona ɗum aɗa wawi noddu statement tegas ɗum woni yimɓe ɓe ganduɗama hoorema ko ɓen ƴettata konnguli moɗon hen oɗo number 7415937 7415937 7415937 ko oɗo woni kibaru ceniɗo gimmorɗo en to TRRC. on jarama.
iɓe ñim feŋol lampi kan
Iwan kaspa o jibe. Kaspa o fila banta. Kodo fila ina kaspa o sanna.
Kodo bar suwa kutale ko. Pastor nga Mamadou kumandi ba. Hello. Mamadou. Abijan drone ko taran. Dukarin bala yende manan kaspa wala say. Ha, bantale hadi pentiji. Yo, okay, mabakuna. Abarka ba kayame.
Maria.
No.
Ite Mamadou batara no bantala banko kan nyadi le ka kaspa o kini te jang. Say.
Ngodo. Fe malon ko balu ya kelo ko den. Ibe bantala banko kan dawo da. Ese kaspa o kino kana gambeja. Ado abat kariyari nyami. Aba soni ari wala fananya.
Inyanta min kela dorong wala ka log on to www.baluwo.com. Ye prepaid electricity sang min ka bonale electricity company solto min bale Gambia banko kanjang, Senegal, Mali, Nigeria and Sierra Leone.